So the US-China tariff battle does not seem to be stopping anytime soon. Both nations are trying their best to look tough and bold, but now China has started showing the US its strong points in global trade by halting the supply of rare earth minerals. So let us discuss in simple words what China is doing and how this move will impact the US and the entire world. Well, rare earth minerals are one of the most important things for any country. It's not just about the US, it's about the world. Every nation in the world needs rare earth minerals for their functioning. These minerals are used in various things, from manufacturing defense equipment to electric vehicles, powerful magnets, motors, LED light, headphones, and more. So these minerals are a necessary component in the global supply chain. And now China has started halting rare earth mineral supply to the US, which is a huge concern. The thing is, China has an absolute monopoly in the world over these rare earth minerals. They control more than 70% of the supply chain. For example, minerals like neodymium, terbium, cerium, and many others, the majority of their supply is controlled by China. And China is able to do so because rare earth minerals are not actually rare in terms of abundance, but they're hard to extract in economically viable concentration. And China has strategically built an insane number of refineries to extract the best forms of these minerals. But to be honest, it's not much of a headache for them, because as you know, China is a communist country. When the government decides something needs to be done, it gets done. No delays from environmental red tape, no protests slowing construction, no corporate lobbies pushing back. That level of centralized control allowed China to quietly build a supply chain empire, while much of the world was still debating regulations. But now, it has become a big problem for the USA, because there are no immediate alternative. Donald Trump started this massive tariff war with the world, but it doesn't look like he actually had a plan. First, he imposed tariffs almost on the entire world, then he paused them, then he exempted tariffs from electronic devices, which is the backbone of China. It's like playing chess without a clear endgame. I mean, Donald Trump is not taking decisions step by step. He is doing things very randomly without looking at broader outcomes. And now, as China halts this rare earth mineral supply chain, you'll see inflation continue rising in the USA, because there will be delays in supply chain, which will ultimately delay everything and increase the cost of product. And in the end, all the final costs will be paid by the US consumer. Also, there are reports that the European Union, which is also a huge and expensive marketplace, is shaking hands with China. That's again not good news for the US. China, on the other hand, is mocking the US. Recently, they reacted to Trump's tariff exemption on electronic items as the first step to correcting the US's mistake. And now they are demanding full tariff exemption from the US side. Clearly China is feeling confident that they also hold powerful cards in this battle and that they will survive this tariff war with the US. Donald Trump also clarified his position by posting a cryptic message, but it doesn't make much sense. It's more like saying, we're going to war, but our enemy isn't selling us the weapon. Well, the US has the potential to mine and refine rare earth minerals on its own soil, but it will take a significant amount of time and capital investment to actually make things work. And don't forget about the environmental activism that will create a whole other chaos for such development. By the time the US establishes a self-sufficient rare earth industry, China could have already advanced its position further, leaving the US scrambling to catch up. Well, China will also be affected by its decision to halt rare earth minerals. A lot of nations are observing and have also started planning to decouple from China in a more cautious way. But right now, the US can only outsource these rare minerals from other nations, which is again a double-edged sword. While the US can turn to other countries for rare earth minerals, many of those suppliers are still dependent on China for refining and processing. Countries like Australia and the UK do mine rare earths, but the refining process, critical to transforming raw ore into usable material, is still dominated by Chinese companies. This means that any US alternative will still be vulnerable to China's strategic control over the downstream part of the supply chain. And let's not overlook the geopolitical angle. The US has been trying to rally allies in its fight against China's trade practices, but the reality is that many of these countries are also closely tied to China's supply chain. So in simple terms, the tariff war between the US and China is entertainment for other nations. Other countries will also push push for domestic production, because they are witnessing the economic battle of two giant nations, where a lot of things are being exposed. China is not a trustable partner, due to its past actions and unfair trade practices, and the US is a demanding nation that can make demands at any time. So what do you think about this development? Do you think the US should hit China with 400% tariffs, or should the US keep calm and avoid taking further actions? Thanks for watching the video. I hope you all have a wonderful day.